Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And I don't know when these are actually going to go out, but earlier sometime we took on the newest 3 stages of the limited time Chamber of Memories that was force limited. Now it's time to take on the other 2 stages, the Chamber of Trainings, which are probably the worst ones because you can only use 4-star characters. So, let's take a look. At the start of battle, increases single target attack of all allies and enemies by 30%, and it's versus a light Hinata who has 500k EP or 500k HP, nerfs blues, attack buff, pierce, all pierce power. Okay, well, in the day and age of EX metas where we have free-to-play protectors giving us extra damage, we should probably just play into that. So, let's make a 4-star team that is green or orange focused. Okay, so before we actually show off the team that I used, fun fact is that it doesn't say anywhere prior to you starting the event, but Hinata has this new little damage resistance right here versus status effects, which means that if we run a 4-star free-to-play Reckoning team, and we have some Reckoning stacks, it's turn 5, so normally, after this turn, they would die, but if we watch this, and we watch the Reckoning damage actually come in at the end of turn 5, there's a small problem. Very, very small problem. Not a big deal, but it's a deal. So, okay, we took an attack, cool, she attacks us, Pierce power, Reckoning does 1 damage. It did 1 damage because she has 100% resistance against it. And no matter how many stacks of Reckoning you have, it's only going to do 1 damage. So the previous bunch of 4-star and free-to-play unit stages that we could cheese with Reckoning and Vengeance, no longer the case. So they did plan ahead. And if they can apply this to Chamber of Memory stages, they could easily just slap this onto beatdown battles and future difficult content, and therefore there is absolutely no cheesing. They don't even have to remove your status effect, because Hinata doesn't do that. But if you have this, then it's not going to do anything. So, no cheesing allowed. Alright, so the team that I used to beat this, it's not the only team, but they're only 4-star stages. I don't want to do this too much. We've got the Warrior's Mind 2.0 free-to-play trainee, who's going to give us that 30% extra damage to light. And then we've got a few Warrior's Mind characters, Benimaru, Sufia, and Grucius. And then we've got Isis and Aaron. Because the stage nerfs blues, only by a little bit, but we're just going to play into the greens. We've got 2 orb changers for greens, we've got Isis to buff. Benimaru being dark means that he'll have type advantage, and Sufia also has type advantage plus the extra damage buff. And while we don't have a lot of attack buffs that a traditional team would have, because these are all 4-star units, I mean, we can slowly whittle Hinata down, and that is the whole name of this game, is just slowly whittling her away. Let me make sure this is the right clip, hold on. Okay, it is, thank God. But it's like 10 turns long, because we don't have anyone to super big damage buff us. Like, Sufia can steal orange orbs to herself, which is fantastic, but only oranges, and we're not really running an orange team, so you kind of have to get lucky with that. If you want to bring a different protector that doesn't give that extra damage boost, then you can. It's just that you're going to be missing out on that extra damage buff that she would give Warrior's Mind characters. But if you want to bring, like, a very generic, like, Protector of Peace Frey and build just a green team that happens to nuke with Isis because she's dark and single target, like, that is something you can do. I might do that next, actually, just to show it off. You could use a blue team, honestly. Like, the nerf to blues is only 30%. It's not insurmountable, right? If you have a good or decent blue stack and protector that's free to play, like Commander Shion or something, right? You could get away with it. And you would lose a little bit of protection gauge, you lose a little bit of SP, you wouldn't get a lot of alt gauge to begin with, but you'd be stacking weakness strike, and that means that your dark team will, hit harder and harder and harder and harder. So, yeah. That's one way you could do it. Like, I might do it here I might not. They are just 4-star units. I mean, people might not actually have a lot of 4-star characters to use in these fights because they're too busy being newer players and trying to upgrade the trying to upgrade their EX characters more than anything else. But we don't have a lot of oranges until we use trainee, right? I mentioned that we don't have a lot of orange orbs. It's not really relevant because we're not really getting the best orb convert hands. And I don't have a special converter, unfortunately. We just have a double and a double from Isis and Aaron. And we also don't have anyone to reset. So it's not very often you're actually going to get access to trainee. But if you do, you can use her to convert a lot of orbs to oranges, and then you could yoink a few of those with Sufia, who's going to be our highest damage dealing character here, because she's both dark and on Warrior's Mind. So here her ult does 49k. I mean, it's not bad damage. 72k from Benimaru, or 7200, and then with a Pierce 24,000. I mean, that's good damage for a 4-star team, and it's all because we're playing into the element and the buff that trainee just gives to certain forces. And that's pretty much how you should be running these stages now. Using a generic protector can work if you are out of options, but it's always best to just play into that. That way you don't have to just bring a team of dark characters who don't work well together. You could bring a number of different elements who are all on the same force, who could actually give some benefits, or at least a couple of them. That way you have at least 2 characters who have the potential to do meaningful damage to this fight. So let's go ahead and yoink a few of those. Let's lower her defense again. We have a full hand of Sufia now, and we don't need to do anything with that. So, and also Sufia's guard penetration matters very little because she's not guarding. 51k, 11k. So we're on turn 8 now. Not fantastic. I wish 4-star characters were a little bit better. I wish they just added in more 4-star battle units to the general pool every so often for the characters that are not super hype, but, you know, deserve to be in the game because they are part of the Slime universe, but maybe not big-time potential moneymakers that a summonable meta character would have, because they don't want to not make money on those, putting in another Gelmute or something, or whatever. Sometimes they put in, like, those free ticket 5 stars and EXs, like Tyr and Clayman and Murin and Yom and all that. Like, that, fine, sure, whatever. But, man, give us some more 4-star options. If you're going to continue to put out 4-star missions, you should probably give us some more 4-star battle units, and not just the protection characters, and the same 4-stars that have been out for years and years. But there, in 10 turns, is the Chamber of Training Stage 7. I think this is the only clip I'm going to do, because I honestly can't be bothered anymore. But there are other team builds you can use. If you used a different team and it was pretty successful, let me know in the comments. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.